Hello, my name is Twyla Martin. I am the publisher and author of The Power of a Transformed Woman. Welcome to the VIP room.
All right, today in the VIP room with DJ Boom, we have a very special guest. This woman is an entrepreneur, a CEO, an all-around go-getter. I've had the pleasure of knowing her a few years now, and still I'm just stunned every time that she comes up with something else. And we're going to dive into this new book she has, Power of a Transformed Woman. We have the esteemed Miss Twyla Martin. Thank you for coming into the VIP room.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So, Twyla, I read this book, Power of a Transformed Woman, and let me tell you, man, this book, it's a movie. It's a movie. Man, you've been through a lot.
I have.
But before we even dive into that, because, oh my God, man, let's tell the people everything you got going on. What do you do?
Yes. So I am a director at 360 Housing Stability, and my main purpose in life is to give back to those who also are currently in a struggle, in the middle of their trauma, or just trying to heal and really just trying to stabilize their whole life. That has been my life. And I still continue to stabilize my own life while helping others who are not in best position at 360 Housing Stability. That is my life's purpose / business / it's my baby. And I'm also very involved in my community, very much so, especially the recovery community, where you find a lot of people that struggle with substance abuse. A lot of that is people use that to mask their pain and their trauma. And a lot of times these people are wonderful people. And so I pour my life into women. I do sponsoring. I help them as well. Just help with day-to-day struggles, because life can be just that, you know. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before you got into 360 Housing Stability, you were a hair designer?
Yes. So I'm
Makeup
currently,
specialist?
yes. I am a licensed cosmetologist. So my main thing was hair. I still love hair, but I just don't do other people's hair. I've transitioned. I've transitioned my life into helping people on a deeper level. I knew I owned my own salon, and I knew, you know, I really liked that instant gratification of being able to make people feel good and transform them and just look amazing after. But I realized after that hairstyle, you know, and that hairstyle was worn out, they're back at square one. So I wanted to do something that would help people on a deeper level, hence how 360 Housing Stability got started. And so yeah, that's what I was doing prior to 360 Housing Stability.
I was just going to ask you, how did you go from a hairstylist to 360 Housing? And you just summed it up before I even asked you. So absolutely,
Yes,
definitely.
yes.
You recently just did an interview on CBS, WCCO. How was that for you?
That was amazing. So one of the people that I work with, he's amazing. His name's Patrick. He actually got it set up. It was very, you know, I didn't know it kind of was sprung on me, but I whipped into shape and I showed up, and I had to show out and really represent what we do, what I do on a day-to-day basis. So it was really cool to be highlighted in that way, because a lot of times the work that I do is not recognized, but I'm not looking for recognition. So it was kind of cool to get that highlight.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a great job. And I heard of that Patrick guy too. He's a swell guy. Let me tell you,
man. Boom Beats, you know, he's really in there, you know.
right, Twyla, let's dive into this book. I've read this book, and I'm gonna be honest. I can't tell you the last book I've read before this one. I don't read.
Right.
However, I read this book, and I was just floored. I was just, you have been through so much
Yes.
without. Okay, so what first brought you to write this book, to tell your tell-all story and your memoirs and about your struggles and everything? What brought you to this point?
Yeah, so for me, I'm a very spiritual person. I believe that I was put on this earth to help other people. And my life had been tons of struggle. And I've been wanting to write a book for 20 years now. I mean, I put it on my vision board, and it was just so painful in the moments of writing this stuff down, because this stuff really happened in my life. And I'm still on my healing journey. But I actually was just, maybe a year ago, I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, rain, sleep, or snow. It's not going to be perfect, but I just have to do it. I know it was something I was supposed to do in life, is to share my story, because I knew it was going to inspire someone or somebody. And so that was my sole purpose of sharing the book. It was such an intimate and vulnerable moment for me, these moments in this book, that I was nervous about putting it out. I wasn't even sure if I was going to publish it and let the world see. That's how deep it is to my heart. But here it is. You know, it's here for you to see, for everyone to see now. And so I'm really happy about it.
I admire your vulnerability that you showed in this book. I was just like, wow. And you told me, once I read this book, there's going to be a lot of things about you that I didn't know that I would find out. One of the things, just looking back on your childhood, Twyla, I'm just like, oh my God. I mean, you were thrust into almost taking on an adult role as a kid.
That's correct.
How your mom would leave for days at a time and leave for you and your siblings to fend for yourself. And you're still a kid yourself.
Yes.
And you're wondering when or if she's going to come in. And tell us a little bit about that without giving away too much of the book, but take me back to that time.
Yeah. So one of the struggles that I encountered as a child, and the book talks about this, is my mother. She also suffered with substance abuse stuff, which would, she would leave and disappear a lot. And so that harbored this abandonment feeling within myself. But I also knew that I didn't want to bad talk her, so I would cover up for her, and I would tell people, "Oh, she's just, she's at the hospital, or she's this or that." But I realized in that I wasn't really honoring myself as I got an adult. Like I had to say my truth and how I was affected. But it was a very painful time in my life. It was very painful, and I was just trying to survive. I just wanted to make sure my brother and sister had something to eat, and we were in and out of foster homes as well. So life, it was a roller coaster. It was a roller coaster as a child.
Oh my God, yeah. Reading this book, you can see the ups and downs. Unfortunately, it was more downs than ups with you coming up. We're going to dive a little bit more into this book here. We'll be right back. We have Twyla Martin here in the VIP room with DJ Boom.
Right.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Get your blessings in the morning with DJ Boom on Roku worldwide. All right, we are back in the VIP room with Miss Twyla Martin, and we were just talking about her new book that's going to be launched November 1st, Power of a Transformed Woman, and I had the pleasure of reading this book. Twyla, I just want to get to this one part, and I swear to God, this was something like out of a movie, and that's why I said I was going to talk to my movie friends, because this has to hit the screen. When your ex asked you to come pick him up and take him somewhere, you didn't know where.
Yes.
You're 8 months pregnant.
Yep.
You're scared, but at the same time, you still wanted his attention. You wanted his affection.
I did.
And he asked you to drive him someplace, and just tell us a little bit about what happened next.
Yeah. So, needless to say, during that time of my life, I really just wanted to be loved and accepted. And I was willing to put up with a lot of stuff that was unacceptable in relationships with a man specifically. And he was very abusive. And so this specific situation that you're asking me about, he asked me, to pick him up. And I'm thinking, maybe just trying to work the relationship out. So he said he needed a ride. So he's giving me directions, as to where we're going. And I realize as I'm getting these directions, he tells me to pull over. And all I see is like a dark alley, bushes, lots of trees. It's very dark, a very dark space. So I parked my car, and I knew in that moment, my adrenaline started rushing like never before. My woman intuition kicked in and was like, something bad is about to happen. And he said, well, I'm about to leave, and I'm going to take me and my baby with me. And in that moment, I'm pregnant with his child. So I was very confused and baffled. I'm like, well, how are you going to do that? And I have the baby like inside of me. He said, I'm gonna take it with me. I'm gonna cut it out of you if I have to. And he looked at me, and it was like I saw a person that, not the person I fell in love with. And I didn't realize that he had a knife on him in that moment, but it was in his sleeve. But as he began to shift, I opened my door, and I ran out as fast as I could. So my shoes go flying off. I'm running down the street.
Oh my God.
I'm calling his mom saying, she wasn't helpful. So I called the police, and they escorted me back to my car. By that time, he was gone. But these are things that I really believe this person would have killed me if I did not break up with him. He was just a violent person. But from the surface, you would never have known that about him. He was funny. He was charming. He had a lot of friends. But when he was, I called it crazy in love, but I'm realizing he was really sick mentally. That was not love. And that's something that I learned from that situation.
As I was reading that part in the book, my mouth was just floored. I was like, oh my God, I could not imagine being in that type of situation. Mm-hmm. And, it was not, I don't know if that was the first or the second time that you had met someone that they were Prince Charming in the beginning, mm-hmm. and then they turn out to show their true colors being a monster.
Yes.
The way that you bounced back and healed, and who's even saying you're all the way 100% healed from it, mm-hmm. but to be able to come back from that, mm-hmm. and talk about it, mm-hmm. in a frank discussion, that ain't nothing but God, Twyla.
Yes.
That ain't nothing but God pulling you out of that situation, turning your whole life around, your whole situation. And this is not a spiritual show. I don't mean to get too.
No, it is.
But, it's deep. That's how I felt when I read this book. There's another part in here in which you were fighting with the ex, and I don't know if it was the same ex, but is that the one that tossed the baby?
Correct.
Across the room?
Yes. Very violent man. And so I was under the impression, when I grew up, I saw my mom in a lot of toxic relationships. Hence, I just want to say, whatever you show your kids, they will normalize that, regardless if it's not normal or not. And that's what I did. And so I saw a lot of domestic and different things like that. And so he took things to a whole nother level. He also suffers from alcoholism. So a lot of times he was out of his mind during those moments. But even in that, you don't get a pass for throwing a child across the room. And even as a mother, I had so much shame, and I had to go to a lot of therapy. And I turned to alcohol for a long time to just numb that pain, because I love my children, and it was a very scary moment in my life, but we left and went to a shelter, and I had to rebuild my life again. So
there are, unfortunately, hundreds of thousands of women that is going through the same thing. What can you say to them right now? What advice can you give them? I know it's all in the book, but if they're watching this program right now and they're listening to your story, and if they're thinking about getting this book, what can you tell them?
I will say that if you've been through a lot and you've endured a lot of trauma, please do your healing. Please go see a therapist, whatever that looks like. It looks different for each person and what they need, but you have to do it in order to set a better example for the next generation. Otherwise, you will put up with people who will abuse you, disrespect you. I mean, because you don't understand your own worth. You know, as a child, you were taught about who you are. And if no one ever taught you that, and you were always dismissed, that will go into your adulthood. It will affect every part of who you are. And it did for me. And so for anybody that is debating whether or not to get the book or not, it's a story of redemption. It's a story that you can start in dark spaces, but you don't have to stay there. And it's your responsibility as an adult as to what you do. Your healing is your responsibility, not what has happened to you, but your healing is your responsibility. I do it through Jesus Christ. That's hence my cross here. I do it through God, and I need a support system because I am triggered, even still today at times. I'm not perfect, but I have a support system and I have tools in place that I'm able to leverage, so I never have to live that life again.
Twyla, you hit that right on the nose. This book is a story of redemption. I used to go by saying that they used to say that a man is not measured by how hard he falls, but how he bounces back.
That's right.
And the same goes for a woman. I would have never known any of this. You're such a strong, powerful female figure. I strive for my daughters to be just like you.
Yeah.
All three of them. I want them to be just like you. They could be Twyla 1, 2, and 3. Because you got your stuff together so well, and I admire you. Your inspiration is everything. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back with the VIP room with Miss Twyla Martin.
Thank you.
Rasta Teas, hot and barbecue sauce. Like us on Facebook. Want to try the best hot sauce you haven't had yet? Go to rastateas.com now.
Programming is sponsored by Rasta Teas, hot and barbecue sauces, created by Pee Wee Dread, supporting 1 Million Meal March in the community. You can find us at rastateas.com and High Floor Restaurant in Uptown Minneapolis. You can also find us on the Boom Boom Room TV.
All right, we are back here with author of The Power of a Transformed Woman, Miss Twyla Martin. We were just talking about some chapters in the book, and we are not going to get into too many details because you have to go buy the book.
Yes, you got to buy the book.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is a Cinderella story, a modern day Cinderella story in every sense of the word. Reading your book, reading about everything you've been through, reading about all these exes that you had and how they were just evil monsters. Then your Prince Charming arrived.
He really did. He is amazing.
Let's talk about Mr. Martin 1 second.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
Mr. Martin is phenomenal. He is what do they call it? A pillar in the community is what I would call him. He has a passion for people. Not only that, he loves me in a way that promoted my healing, that helped me feel safe, that helped me to feel secure. And it's relentless and it's consistent. And he plays no games about me. And I really appreciate that.
He does not. He does not.
Yeah. And we got married August 13th of last year. Yep. So it's been a year. And no, 2 years. Right?
We were at the wedding.
Yeah. So, but Mr. Martin is phenomenal. He mentors children. He does like life coaching skills, and he's currently the COO for 360 Housing Stability currently. So
I could speak on Mr. Martin's behalf. I know him very well. I met him through a mutual friend of mine, who in turn I met him, and that's how I met you. That guy, DJ Hunt, what?
Yeah, he's a
Is
DJ too.
one of the
Yeah.
most stand-up individuals I've met in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I've lived a long time. I'm old as dirt. But that guy, yeah, it's not too many like him. And boy, you found your Prince Charming.
Yeah.
Out of the frogs that were in your past, you got a Prince Charming in that guy. He's stand up. He's a follower and believer in God, and
Yes.
he stand on values first and foremost before anything else. And you don't meet too many people like that nowadays. So
Yeah, no. And I will say, prior to us getting married, we did like a spiritual, we wanted God to anoint and bless our marriage, right? We didn't just want to play house, and we didn't want to do that. So we actually abstained from sex for 2 years prior to us actually getting married. And it was very difficult. But in that, we grew spiritually. We grew emotionally in a way that I didn't even realize could be done. You know, I thought that I knew love, and I thought that, but I'm really experiencing something. I experienced the love of God through him. And you have no choice but to heal when you're being loved in that capacity.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that guy, man, one of my really good dear friends. Shout out to DJ Han What.
Yeah.
So we have this event coming up November 1st,
Yep.
and it's going to be at CSPS Hall.
Yep.
And what is the address on that again?
The address is 383 West Michigan Street, St. Paul, Minnesota, 55102. The event is free, you know, so if you have any young teenagers, girls, and specifically really anybody, is welcome to come. We would love to have you there. We're going to have a panel discussion.
Absolutely.
Yep, line up.
I want to dive into that panel here. This
That's
is
right.
like a who's who of some of the most important women in the region. I'm not just going to say in Minnesota, in the region, in the nation, basically. Starting off with Lisa Jones.
Yep.
Can you tell me a little bit about her background?
Yeah, no, she's amazing. So she's also an activist. Well, and she's also a radio personality on KMOJ.
Okay.
And she's doing amazing things in the community.
Okay. And also Robin Hickman Winfield.
Yes, yes. Robin has just been, again, another pillar in the community, uplifting people that are struggling. And actually, my husband referenced her. He knows her a little bit better than I do, but I do know that she has a level of influence in the community in a very powerful way that's positive. So I had to have her. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm familiar with this one as well. Nakima Levy Armstrong.
Yes.
Very strong woman.
Very
mean, oh my God, where do I begin?
Yes.
She was right front and center for the George Floyd riots and speaking up, and man, definitely another pillar in the community. Ashley DuBose.
Yes. Powerful vocalist.
Powerful.
She was also on American Idol.
Yes.
She didn't she win like first place? I don't even remember, but she is phenomenal. And I'm like, we have to have her here because a vocalist speaks the language of the heart.
Yep.
Music can touch what no words can.
Absolutely.
And so I really wanted that to be part of the lineup as well. So I'm glad to have her.
And you got the right one.
Yeah.
She got them vocals, let me tell you. Here's another good friend of mine, Chantel Sings. I know you know her as well.
That's right.
You used to do her hair?
Yeah, I used to be her hairstylist. And
Wow.
so, yep, I retired from doing that. But she is amazing. She overcame cancer, ovarian cancer, and she's also another woman who has overcome many different struggles. And I've got to know her throughout the years and really understanding that she is a strong woman moving forward and doing powerful things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm good friends with her as well. Shout out to Miss Chantel Sings. Absolutely. And Alana Carrington.
Yeah, Alana, she speaks life. She has an anointing in her voice. I can't even describe it, but she's called me many times, and I just want to say that she's so connected to the man upstairs. And I just love that about her. And I feel like everybody needs that. During my healing journey, I needed that. So as she brings that powerful connection to the panel, I am excited to hear what she has to say.
We are very familiar with Miss Carrington.
Yes.
We we just completed a documentary detailing the story of her journey with overcoming stage 3 breast cancer.
Oh, yes.
And we just completed that documentary, and very, very familiar with her.
Yeah.
She is a woman who has a connection with God. No doubt.
She does.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And she'll hit you with that good morning.
Yeah.
Morning, day, or night. If she calls you, whatever time, she's going to say good morning.
She's amazing.
I just love her. She's an amazing woman. And then finally, we have this powerhouse here. I know her as well, Jamila Pettiford.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about her.
So when I first met her, I heard a lot about her throughout the years, but I went to one of her shows, and I mean, she had me in tears. I mean, her voice was so powerful. And I am drawn to individuals that have that, I call it anointing. Some people call it a gift, whatever you want to call it. She has it. And I don't know her personally, but I know enough about her that she has something powerful within her that needs to be shared with the community. So I wanted to create a platform, hence the panel, for all those gifts to be shared. I'm happy to have her.
Absolutely. I'm familiar with her.
Yes.
I've DJ'd a few shows where she sung, and takes you back to church, takes you back to Sunday morning, good old Baptist service. It was the singer is just moving the whole church. She got that type of voice.
She does.
That can move mountains.
Correct.
So very familiar with her. You have a panel out of this world.
I do.
What are some of the things y'all going to be talking about there?
Yeah, so it's like a women overcoming panel where each one of those women are going to talk about some of the things they've also overcome. Because I understand that I'm not the only woman who has gone through some things, and I've come out on the other side for better. So I wanted to inspire people who have lost hope. And so with that being said, we will have audience participation during this panel because we want people to even bring a situation to us and how did we overcome what we do, and it could be the answer to some people who are currently struggling in the moment. But we're still working on the subjects that we are going to touch, but the overall trifecta is women overcoming and sharing that experience, and also giving the audience and the people who attend advice or and just helping overall how to be a better woman, how to be a better person. And so that's the highlight in what we're going to be doing.
Absolutely. I kind of see this event as a 2-part event. It could be for people that has been through some things, and it could be for the younger generation, so that they can know how to be prepared.
That's right.
For certain things. Best believe my daughters will be there front and center.
That's
With
right.
that many powerful women in the room, I need my daughters to pick up on everything that's positive.
Yes.
And you put together like a superheroes, I would say, of super women that has overcome so many things and just powerful voices in the community right now. So, and this is a free event.
Yes, it's
You could have
free.
charged for this event. Why did you decide to make it free?
I wanted to make it readily available for everybody. And
That
I
is
know
beautiful.
it's not a matter of how much money you have. It's a matter of your presence means more than anything.
Absolutely.
And that's really important to me that people understand that. Now, if you want VIP, you could pay $20 and it might come with a meal and preferred seating.
Right.
But that's not necessary to receive the message. We
Right.
want you to come through those doors. So we're excited to see you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this event. I know a few other people are excited for this event.
Yeah.
Man, this is so. Twyla, let me just first start off by saying that I'm really happy that you came here today, that you decided to bare your soul, let people know of your past. A lot of people don't want to talk about their past, especially when it was as traumatic as yours.
Yes.
But you decided to just bear all and show your vulnerability.
Yes.
And we really appreciate that. That means a lot. We're going to promote this event.
Yes.
Good luck on the book. I know it's going to do great. Like I said, I read it. I don't read books.
Right. Yeah. I was shocked.
I know. I read the book and my mouth was open the whole time. Like, oh my, it's just a deep book. And the website where they can RSVP for this event is www.the
Yep. So it's www.powerofatransformedwoman.com.
Power of a Transformed Woman.
Yep.
And we're going to run that across the bottom of the screen.
Yep. Powerofatransformedwoman.com. And then there was something else that I didn't mention, and I can't remember what it was, but I feel like there's something else that I need to say.
Was it concerning 360?
No. But I think you guys have the gist of exactly what you need. So you go on there, RSVP. You do have to RSVP to get in, just because the capacity count for which the space that we're renting. So just keep that in mind. So yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. So while it is a free event, don't just think you're going to show up anytime without making a reservation. You still should reserve your spot to make sure you have a spot when you get here.
Correct. And it's also published currently on Amazon, so it is available for purchase if you want to go on and read the book and get it before the event. So you have more of a context for what, the whole venue and event is about. And so you can find that right on Amazon. It is, you can purchase it today. I think it's only 2-day shipping if you got Prime. So yeah, check it out.
Absolutely. Ms. Martin, thank you for being here today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you.
I know you got 101 things going on, so it's always a pleasure when you're able to make time to come down to the VIP room here with DJ Boom. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time on the VIP room.